Video 2, Social Studies 101, the basics. I can compare and contrast civic duties and civic responsibilities. We talked about civic duties in the last video, the 4 things that you have to do. What's a civic responsibility? How are they different? Maybe they're the same. Recognize the importance of these civic responsibilities. Start the timer. Civic duties. Do you remember them? These are the things that you have to do. This makes it possible for the government to protect our rights. These 4 things make it possible for our country really to exist. Number 1, obey the law. Think about it. If people don't obey the law in a nation, it's not much of a nation. The country will fall apart. You need the citizens of a country to follow. Gotta have it, or you can't have a country. Your government won't be worthwhile, and the people really won't have much of a life. Pay the taxes. The government needs money to pay for the things that allow them to protect us, to ensure that we're obeying the law, to create courts, to create roads. Everything the government does, they need money. And if we want the government to do their job, we've got to pay them. Serve on a jury, pretty easy one. This just helps us ensure that everyone can get a fair trial. And the only way that we get fair trials is if we are the ones that make the decisions, not some special outside entity. And then last, serve in the military. I talked about this like it was a thing that's happening. It really hasn't happened since 1975-ish, late 70s. It's still on the books. And when you turn 18, if you're a male, you have to fill out your selective service agreement, which says, I will serve in the military if we get ourselves into some sort of fiasco where all the Americans have to go fight a big, big war. Fortunately or unfortunately, we really haven't had to do this in about 40 years. Could it happen? It absolutely could. It's still in the books. You still have to serve in the military if they call. And if you say no, you're going to jail. Well, that's not fair. It's not about fair. These 4 things are not about fairness. These 4 things are about things that we need to make sure that America can exist, and that not only America can exist, so that the people within this country can live and have wonderful lives. Obeying the law. If they don't obey the law, probably gonna have some problems. If you want to pay the taxes, the government can't do the things that we need. Schools, libraries. We don't need new libraries. All right. I think you do, but I'll listen to your argument. We need roads, or you can't get around anywhere. You need the military to protect us from outside countries. You need the police to make sure people aren't robbing and stealing from you, or make sure that you're not robbing and stealing from someone else. Serving in jury. Okay, you get it. So we got the civic duties. Stop going on about the civic duties. Sorry. Again, obey the law. Pay your taxes. Serve in a jury, military. They're important. You probably have never realized, oh yeah, those are the 4 things that I have to do. And you do them every day. Congratulations, unless you're sitting in a jail cell watching this video. And if you're sitting in a jail cell, how did you get Wi-Fi? But most of us watching this video, you're obeying the law. Maybe you're not a perfect citizen, but for the most part, you do what you're supposed to do. And you pay taxes. I don't pay taxes. You bought a candy bar. Guess what? There were taxes on that candy bar that you bought. You bought a soda the other day. It wasn't $1. It was $1.07 because 7 of those cents went to taxes to pay for the government. You haven't done jury duty yet. You probably haven't protected our country yet, but you might someday. Again, it's a trade. You agree to fulfill your civic duties, and in return, the government agrees to protect your freedom and rights. Religion, assembly, press, petition, speech, your privacy, your right to own weapons, your right to own property, your right to due process. What's due process? It means the government can't just take your rights away. They have to follow a process. They have to take you to the court system and have to prove that you've done something. And if they can't prove that you've done something, then you're free to go about your day. And the government protects that right. That's due process. It's a pretty big right. They can't torture you. They can't do a fast trial. They can't do a secret trial. They can't take you back to trial over and over and over and over again until they find you guilty. Okay, it's called double jeopardy. They got one shot to find that you did something. These are pretty cool rights. You also have all the rights that they can't write down, right? We can't write down every single right. The government realizes that, but they agree to protect all the rights that aren't written down as well. Wow, they protect everything. Like my right to play video games? Sure. We're going to make it a country where you can play video games as long as you fulfill your civic duties. Review from the other day. Why do I get all this? Because you're a citizen. You were born here, or maybe you naturalized. And by becoming a citizen, you didn't just get rights. Remember, the government doesn't give you rights. The government recognizes that you have rights because you are a citizen. You're born here. You have rights. They will protect you, or you're naturalized. Those are your civic duties. These are the civic duties. Obey the law, pay taxes, jury, military. 4 things. You got to do them. You're already doing most of them. Now what I want to talk about are, well, so again, you do the duties, government protects. We get it already. Good. We'll make sure that you get it already. That's the civic duties. Do the duties. They protect your rights. But is that enough? That's the question. Just obeying the law, paying the taxes, that allows the government to exist. I said that earlier. In this country, if everyone obeys the law, we have a military, we're paying our taxes, it allows this country to function, it gives us the opportunity to survive, but does it make us thrive? It allows us to live, allows us the opportunity to go about our day and do things, but is it enough? Are you doing enough when you just simply, okay, I'll obey the laws and I'll pay my taxes? Yeah, but as a citizen, are you doing enough to make this country great? You're making this country okay, it's good, it's fine, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're doing enough, but could you do more? Could you make it better? Could you make it better for everyone else? That's the question. That's where we're trying to make America great, one way or the other. So, these are civic duties. This is where the responsibilities. These are voluntary. The duties are mandatory. If you don't obey the law, you're going to jail. If you don't pay your taxes, you're going to jail. If you don't serve in the jury when called, you're going to jail. Now, the civic responsibilities are voluntary. You don't have to do these. But these are the things that take America from good enough to great. We're going to make America great. Or continue to make America great. Whatever. I don't want to get political with you, but this is a social study. It's supposed to be political. I suppose it is. That's the difference so far. Civic duties, you got to do them. Civic, you don't have to. But if we do these things, the country becomes stronger and a better nation for everyone. So what are these things? There's 8 of them. Oh, God, I got to remember 8 things. Well, the good news is you don't have to do these things, so you don't have to remember. If you forget one of them, you're not going to go to jail. Now, the things on the right here, these 4 things, you're going to want to remember those, because if you don't do them, bad stuff will happen to you. These are things that if you can do them, it will make our country better. You don't have to, but imagine a world where everyone, or imagine a nation where everyone does the responsibilities. So again, civic duties, good enough. But if we all do our civic responsibilities, we become a great nation. Unfortunately, we often don't do these. Okay, so civic responsibilities. Numero uno, register to vote and vote. Notice it's register to vote and vote. Before you can vote, you must sign up to vote. What kind of deal is that? I just want to vote. I get it, but that's the way the rules are. And the reason is they need certification, they need records, they need to know where you live, because where you live depends on what things you will vote for, what people you vote for, what laws you vote for. Look, you need to let the government know that I live in North Carolina. I should vote on laws in North Carolina. I shouldn't vote on laws in Delaware. Where? Delaware. I heard it. Where? California. And by signing up and registering, filling out the paperwork, they say, oh, okay, this is where you live. This is the ballot you get. Here are the issues that you vote for. Here are the guys that you vote for. So register and vote. If you don't register, you don't get to vote. Hold elective office. That picture probably doesn't mean anything to you. This PowerPoint was created years ago when that picture meant something to some people living in that certain spot of the area of the country. But imagine that is a public official. You do not have to become president. You do not have to become a congressman, a senator, a governor, a representative. You don't have to be a mayor. You don't have to be on city council. You don't have to work on the school board. You don't have to, but somebody has to. Somebody's got to be president. Somebody's got to make the laws. Someone's got to interpret the laws. Someone has to be the mayor of the city and make big decisions. If no one does it, then the decisions don't get made. So you don't have to. You can be the person who does it. But somebody has to step up and say, I'm going to do it. I think I know what I'm going to do. I can take care of this. I can help people out. I know how to solve problems. I know how to listen to people. That's usually the big deal. Can you listen to people? There's one thing, making decisions. There's another thing is listening to people, analyzing what they need, and then making decisions. Who cares what they have to say? I know what's right for the people. Maybe you shouldn't be. Maybe this isn't the civic responsibility for you, okay? It's a possibility. Communicate with government officials. So if you don't want to be the guy that makes the decisions, how's our mayor of our town? How is our school board that makes the rules for the school, decides who to hire, what kind of schedule to create, how much money to spend on the high school, how much money to spend on the middle school? Do we need more money on sports? Do we need more money for clubs? Do we need more money for teachers? Do we need more money for computers? How do they make that decision? People have to communicate. Well, you don't have to. Again, these aren't mandatory. They're not going to lock you up for not talking to them. But imagine in your town, no one talks to the school board. Nobody tells the school board what's going on. No one tells the school board what's up. If that were the case, how could they make good decisions? How could they make accurate decisions? How could they do what's best for the school if they don't know what's best for the school? They're not in the school every single day. Most school board members have other jobs. They can't sit in the classroom 8 hours a day. They can't investigate every single teacher. They can't walk around the school. They can't go door to door talking to the community saying, hey, what's up with the school? Hey, what do you like about the school? Oh, you like the school lunch? Great. Oh, you don't like the school lunch? Oh, that's too bad. They can't do that. The way that they can do it is best if you communicate with them. Same thing with your representatives at the state level. We're taking too many tests in school. How are they supposed to know that unless you tell them that? We should spend more money on X. We should spend more money on Y. Maybe we shouldn't fight wars with every single country around the world. You have to communicate with them and tell them that. Again, things on the left, civic duties, make a country good enough. But if we want the best country possible, we need to fulfill our civic responsibilities. Participate in political campaigns. Politics are coming up. You don't have to do this. And this might not be the one for you. I don't blame you for not getting involved in this one. But if we want to have good elections and we want to elect right people, well, so we don't ever know who's the right or the wrong person. That's not for us to say. But we can have educated elections, right? Well, we have educated elections. We have elections where people know what's going on. People know all the information. People understand all the laws. They understand all the politicians and all their different views. And the best way that the voters, right, registering to vote and voting, that the people that are making the votes and making the decisions, the best way to ensure that they know that they're making an educated choice is if we have people participating and informing the people. Or you could just let the politician go out and tell everybody what to believe. Sometimes it's better if everyone is involved and everyone is talking to everyone, and so that we can take in all the information and make the best votes. Again, good enough. Make the country better by doing responsibilities. Volunteer. Huh. You know, you hear people complaining about, man, when are they ever going to clean up that park? Well, who's they? Who do you expect to do it? The government? Government's got a lot of things to do. They're very busy. If you want the park cleaned up, then go clean up the park. You got a broom? You got a shovel? Go out there and get to work. You can do it. And guess what? And if you do it, the park's clean. What? Wait, that's magic. You mean if I clean the park's clean for everyone and life is better for everyone? Volunteer. Not that hard, people. Stay informed. Are you going to vote? Cool. Before you vote, you might want to know what's happening. Watch the news, read some articles, do some research. Don't just pick somebody because they're cute. Oh my God, he's totes cute. I'm voting for that guy. Or, oh man, she makes all the right decisions. I like her. I like the way she talks. I'm voting for her. No. Vote based on being informed. Try to stay informed. Of all these things, look, it's cool to slack on some of these. You don't want to hold elective office. I don't hold elective office. A lot of us aren't going to do that. Cool. Throw that one away. Maybe you don't always communicate with your government officials. I get it. You're busy. Maybe that's not a big deal. Maybe you just don't like to volunteer. You're not a physical active person. You know, you're tired. Maybe you got health issues. I get it. But it is not that hard to know what's going on, to read different newspapers, to get information from different sources. Don't just get all your news from Facebook, please. I don't even know if that counts. Does that count as being informed? I don't know there's no one here, but I'm looking for someone to answer. That doesn't count. Reading Facebook articles doesn't count. Read the real news and read different news sources, because some news will just tell you one side of the story and some news will tell you one side of the story. So if you really want to be informed, so you got to watch this channel and you got to watch this channel, and then you make the best decisions. Respect others. Come on now. Duh. And then respect others in the government. You need to respect the government or the government can't do its job. Respect, it's not that hard. It makes people feel better. You want people to respect you? So if I want other people to respect me, then maybe I should respect them. I don't know. Yeah, that's how that works. Not that hard to do that one either. Vote. Don't vote. I don't even know what I was trying to do here. Oh, I'm just going to quickly go over all this again. So if you vote and you don't vote, so if you don't vote, you might not get stuff that helps you out. When people don't vote, we don't get laws that represent our society. 16 seconds. There it is. It's all right there. Obey the law, pay taxes, serve in the military if called, responsibilities, all those things. Got to do them. Voluntary. This is your life every day as a citizen. This is it. On your screen. Perfect. That is it. How you make the country better and how you make the country good enough. Got it? We're out of here.